Hello, I'm Robert Brathe, and I'm here to walk you through how to set up GDP for your DLP 105 course. On the main page of your course, you'll see this section here that describes how to register for GDP. Note the course number that you're going to need. It will be different depending on the course you're taking. And be sure that you have your registration code. This is the website you will go to, but there's a link right in the program itself that will take you to mildredellie.gdp11.com. So we'll click on that link, and this is what the main page looks like when you go to the GDP registration. You're going to click over here. I have a registration code, and then it's going to ask you a few questions. Obviously, you attend Mildred Ellie. If you don't have a username already, you want to hit no. Read through the privacy notes. And then you're going to pick the class you're enrolled in. And in my case, this is a class that I am teaching, so you want to make sure that you pick the particular course that you're in. It's very important because your instructor would have to go in and change it later, so be sure that you pick the right one the first time around. Notice I teach a couple of different sections, so you want to make sure you have the right section number as well. This is where you'll type in your registration code. It is case sensitive, and then you're going to hit next. Fill in your information here. And then make up a username you're going to remember and a passcode you can remember. Sometimes if you use a computer like mine, it'll automatically suggest a password. It's good to save it if you have it. Hit finish, and then you'll be able to log right into the site and launch GDP for the first time. Make sure Flash is enabled. And then once Flash is enabled on your browser, we should see the course come up in just a moment here. Some of the things to keep in mind is you want to make sure that your window is open enough so you can see the next buttons in the bottom right-hand corner. So you'll see the lessons at the top. So if we go into one of the lessons here, you'll be able to go through and start one of the lessons. Always keep in mind you want to make sure your window is open so you see the previous and next buttons, so that way you can complete the assignments appropriately. And then when you're done, you can click in the top right-hand corner to close the page. It's important to use a browser that's compatible and to do these typing lessons from a computer to enable all the screen sizes to be appropriate. And again, this is a typing class. You want to use a full keyboard. Any questions? Get in touch with us. Some things to keep in mind to make sure your work is tracked. To get to the lessons, you can click on them in this left-hand area. There's part 1, part 2, and then when you go into each of the units, you'll be able to see the individual lessons. So you might have to click on the part and then the unit to get to the lesson you're looking for. And keep in mind that unless you have a green check mark next to the lesson, you are not complete. So make sure you go through all the work in the lessons that you are assigned to make sure it's complete, and make sure you have that green check mark and not any other symbol next to it. So these are some of the different lessons you'll be involved in. And as well, if you want to go on and take a look at some more difficult lessons, if you want to work on a resume, those are available as well. But for the nature of DLP 105, your lessons will be pretty much limited to lessons areas 1, part 1, and part 2.